headlines earlier this year when he won the American Samoa caucuses in the Democratic race for the White House. But more importantly, he's put his efforts into a new effort called Together, aimed at bringing more voters to the table and encouraging young people to get engaged with the democratic process. He's Jason Palmer. He's back up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Jason, good to see you again.
Hey, Jim, great to be back on.
Okay, let me ask you, I want to get this out of the way because I thought about you for the last part of the summer when the presidential race shook up. When President Biden dropped out, were you making any calls saying, hey, look, I have delegates?
I actually was making calls to lots of my supporters to say, should I throw my hat in the ring?
Yeah.
And those calls lasted about 2 minutes because all those friends reminded me that Kamala Harris was the first person I donated to back in 2019. That back then I really thought she was ready to be president. And now after 4 years of being vice president and what we saw in the presidential debate, it's very clear she's ready.
So let's talk about that right now. We are just about less than 6 weeks away from Election Day. Early voting is already underway in parts of the country. Talk about the shift that you've seen in this race. I believe we talked with you earlier this summer about the Together effort that you put together, which we'll talk about towards the end of the interview here. But I'm just curious, your vibe, what have you seen and where do you think this is headed?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've seen, and it's probably because I've spent a lot of time on college campuses the last few months, is that the Biden team was even thinking about shutting down their get out the vote effort on college campuses just 2 months ago. Now there's so much energy on college campuses, and the majority of it, like 75%, is for Kamala Harris. So a lot of young people, especially a lot of young women, are very in it to win it with Kamala.
So that being said, and we know some of the major issues that Democrats have had some success with have been reproductive rights, but especially on college campuses, one of the biggest hurdles has been what's happening in the Middle East right now. We saw these massive protests earlier this year. Many people unhappy with the U.S. involvement, calling for a ceasefire. I mean, it seems like those temperatures have cooled a little bit, but we do have the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th attacks coming up, and it does appear that there is some expectation that we're going to see some more activity around that.
Yeah, I actually thought that the protests would start right when students got back to school, and I was surprised that they really didn't. So I, asked around and started talking to students about why that was. And in large measure, it's because I think more students are aware of the fact that Hamas was just as much, if not more, responsible for not accepting the ceasefire, not accepting the exchange of hostages and prisoners. And so, that makes it kind of a difficult situation when you're advocating for a ceasefire and Hamas is the one that is not accepting the ceasefire. Now with the, Israel attacks in Lebanon on Hezbollah and the recent, attack on the pagers that people, that's really just scrambled everything up at this point. And I think most students still do think there should be peace in the Middle East, but they're now much more aware that it's a very complicated thing. This has been going on for decades. It's not something that one protest is going to end.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it just kind of brings to mind, I was thinking about earlier on in my career was right around the time the Iraq War broke out. And we saw, temperatures were quite high. We saw a lot of anti-war protests, but, time continued and some of those went by the wayside. As we look ahead over the next couple of months, the last few days, we've been looking at some numbers, especially when it pertains to Gen Z and the fact that Democrats have some work to do when it comes to Gen Z men, Republican with Gen Z women. But this is still a very tight race. Even though we saw that change at the top of the ticket and there have been some shifts in polling, it still appears to be anybody's game.
Completely. I'm telling everybody I can, this is a 50-50 coin flip, and it'll be decided by the ground game, who gets out and knocks on more doors, who convinces those 3 friends in the dorm to get registered to vote, to actually cast their vote. It really is like person by person, hand-to-hand combat all the way to the finish line here.
Yeah, your presidential campaign morphed into that effort called Together, which you and I talked about earlier this summer. But just to get your finger on the pulse of where that's headed right now, and what you think, where you think you can fill a void right now when it comes to outreach and when it comes to getting people excited about voting in the first place.
Yeah, I actually do think we're kind of on the cusp of like a new era of bipartisanship. And some people tell me, Jason, you're kind of crazy. What are you talking about? This is, hand-to-hand combat. You just said a second ago. But, we've endorsed 8 Democrats who are running for Congress, 8 Republicans who are running for Congress, and 2 independents. Average age of all those people is 38 years old. They're either people that served in the military and came back home from being abroad and have leadership experience, or they're entrepreneurs that build businesses, both for-profit and nonprofit organizations, and been successful businesses at that. And I do think, there's 60 people in the Congress that are part of what's called the Problem Solvers Caucus. And if we get our 18 people elected, that'll grow to 78. And I do think you're going to see more bipartisan legislation. Even look at Donald Trump, appointing Tulsi Gabbard to be part of his transition committee, or Kamala Harris saying, yes, she would appoint a Republican to her cabinet. Both of them are kind of, at the maximum moment of reaching for the middle to try to win here. And I think that's going to carry over past the election, quite honestly.
And considering the number of people who have crossed over from the Bush 43 administration, even the Trump administration, I never thought we'd see the day when you have the likes of Anthony Scaramucci, endorsing Kamala Harris. Yet here we are.
We're very scrambled up, but people are thinking about what do we really need to solve the problems of our era and move the country forward, and that's a great thing.
Always good to have you here, Jason Palmer. Thanks for joining us. By the way, what's the website for Together?
I appreciate that. Togetherpurple.org, and you can see the 18 candidates. We have baseball cards up there for all of them, their key positions, how old they are. And, I do think a large majority, maybe even all of them, will win this fall.
Excellent. Thanks, Jason. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
And we're back after this.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known.